Hey guys, welcome to a impromptu, well, kind of a late live stream. In theory, I should have done it earlier today, but that didn't happen. So hopefully you guys are all doing okay. I have Debbie with me. Say hello, Debbie.
Hello.
So she's on the other microphone, so it'll be a joint show. The topic for today is crawling out of the darkness, inspired by my flu from the last week. So I want to chat a little bit about how those type of things, like being sick, can really amplify your catastrophic thinking and make things significantly worse than they really are. So I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, and that would be a good topic. Plus, I also want to hit a news article that I read. I got an opportunity to chat with Debbie about it a little bit, but and we'll hit that on a little bit as well. So let me just make sure if you guys can hear and see me and hear both of us, give us a thumbs up or a 1 in the comments or in the live chat, so I know that everything's working okay, and we're not just broadcasting to nobody. Looks like there's a couple of people in. I'm still feeling okay. I got some thumbs up. Awesome. So measure twice says thumbs up. I got healing bond trauma, thumbs up. All right, guys. Awesome. So you guys are hearing us okay. So welcome to the Saturday live stream. Sorry that it's a few hours late, like I mentioned, but better late than never. It was kind of a rough night. So I'm still feeling, yesterday was probably the best day this last week that I felt better. So that was kind of nice, but still when the morning sun came up, it just was not. I'm like, no, I need some rest. Anyways, okay. So let me jump into the first parts, and I'll just hit over on this. First thing is, I am not a therapist or an attorney. I'm an individual much like you guys who have gone through a very traumatic divorce with kids involved and developed some tips and techniques that I used that I hope can help you to get out of your, you can't really get completely out of it, but learn ways to deal with your situation to minimize the damage that your toxic ex does and get your life back and help build a better foundation for yourself and your children. The other thing I always like to mention is you can be anonymous. So if you are new to this channel and you're using your real name as your YouTube channel name, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want anyone to see me comment or anything like that, you can change that name to other things. If you look at the people who are on the chat right now, you will see different names like Divorce Papa and LN and Baneful Things. I'm just reading off some names. So you can do that as well. And Eye the Tiger, that's a good one. So you can do that so you can have some anonymity. You can either create a whole nother YouTube channel to do that, or you can change the name of your YouTube channel. I actually have multiple channels. This DSD channel is one of my secondary channels off of my name. So, you can do that and help keep yourself a little bit private. The one thing I do want to mention before I jump on to the next topic on this is change all your passwords. If you have a toxic ex and they knew your stuff, change your passwords. If you can, turn on two-part authentication so that when you log into something, it sends a text to you to make sure that it's you. I don't normally hit that. I forget to bring that up, but that is a good thing to do. Next thing I want to chat about is diagnosis. Please do not diagnose anybody or attempt to diagnose somebody with a personality disorder. The only people that can do that are certified licensed technicians in a medical environment. And whenever we start throwing around mental health terms and diagnosis, if there isn't actually one, it hurts our credibility or will hurt your credibility. And if you are in court, you absolutely don't want to do that because that can create some complexities and can blow up in your face. So be careful on that. That's what this channel is all about. If it seems like it would be helpful for you and you have not done it, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so that YouTube will tell you about when I post a video. The other thing I want to mention is if you want to get my attention, and I always do this, I always bring this over here, so let me bring it over here. If you want to get my attention, you can do like Divorce Papa did right here, where You went at DSD. So if you can see here on the screen, if I go at right to Debbie, it brings a pop up or a drop down. I mean, I could hit enter and go hello. And in her screen, it will actually, let me scroll back down. It will be orange. So I just, she'll see an orange thing, but it makes it easier for me to see. And also if you're going to do a question, you can just do, at DSD and then say question. So I know it's a question, and then write out your question. That makes it easier for me to be able to see that you are in fact doing a question. And if you want to really get my attention, you can do the super chat thing, which does charge you some monetary amount all the way down to, I think, $1. And if you decide to do that, you can, where the heck is it? Where is it? I guess you hit buy then? Maybe that's how you do it. And then you can actually type a message. So if you do decide to do that, you can put your message in there and it will make it, and now it's locking up like it always does every time I try to do stuff with you guys to show things. But that's another option. And now my chat window is completely crashed. Oh, that's just brilliant. It's always something. Let me see if I can reload that. Hey, there we go. I reloaded it. Okay. Anyway, so hopefully you guys are doing okay. Let me go back over here. Not there. Let me go here. See, Brainful Things just did that. I appreciate it. It says, expecting spring break drama. That, you know what? Oh, I didn't even think about that. I should have brought that up. That should have been, maybe I'll make a video topic on it. I mean, hold on, let me see. You can also see that it pops up the super chat right here. So anyways, so thank you for that, Brainful Things. I appreciate that. So anyway, so let's jump into, I already kind of went through some of the people who are here, but let me hit the main topic. Actually, before I jump into that, see, I got to remember that Debbie's here. Is there anything you want to, you're punched in. So anything you want to say to everybody?
Oh, hey, just saying hi to everyone, and that it's really cool that I am in the same part of California. A little easier to come in and jump in and say hello.
Exactly. And if you guys don't remember for last time, now you probably do remember me previously saying that Debbie lived up in Chico, California, but that is no longer the case. She's actually back down in Southern California, has some exciting new opportunities going on down here, which means we'll actually get to see each other more often, which is kind of cool. And not this whirlwind 8-hour drive, get here really late, and just turn around and drive back. That was some pretty crazy times, to say the least. So, okay, so I want to jump into what I wanted to talk about on the topic, which is crawling out of the darkness. And here's the thing that I want to mention, just as a reminder, because sometimes we forget about these things. Please expect that whenever you are having an external issue, such as being sick, happening to you, you will start to feel, you're going to feel sick, and then all of these other things are going to affect you more than they normally would, right? So keep that in mind. So if you find yourself getting, run down or sick, or you got the flu, or you got the crud that's going on, and then the next thing you know, you start feeling more catastrophic about everything that's going on. You start feeling more down about it, more depressed about it. Keep it in mind that a lot of times, and it's very common that when you have that happen, your entire system is degraded, your emotional capability for dealing with stuff, and there is a much higher probability that you're going to take everything more negatively and be more catastrophic on it. So if something's not going right, you're going to be like, oh, this is worse than it really is. So just keep that in mind. I know that's, I'm hoping that that's very common, or you guys understand that. I just mention it because I know that I used to go through these phases that I didn't, and I would get run down and I would really start riding that catastrophic feeling, and it would just make things worse and worse and worse. So I just, not that I really had that this time. I could feel it kind of creeping up because actually, interesting enough, what happened is, this is, Debbie, I don't know if we talked about this, but so Tuesday I was sick and I stayed home, and I'm not sure if I mentioned to everybody, but in California, whenever the Department of Child Support Services is managing your account, whenever your kids get close to dropping off, whoever is getting the money gets a letter saying, hey, your kids are getting ready to drop off. According to the court order, when they're 18, it's done, unless they're in school. So are they in school? Whatever. My genius of an ex doesn't do it. Doesn't ever doesn't ever validate it. So I got excuse me. I got a email from work. I don't know if it was last week. I'm not remember when it was, but basically said, garnishment change order. I looked it up and it was like, oh, okay. I saw the court order and it showed that they dropped my daughter off early. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It'll get fixed because as soon as she loses the money, it will, whatever. So I wasn't that worried about it until this week. Maybe it was Wednesday. I was out sick and I get my leave and earning statements and I look at it and I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling well. Math is not my, my greatest thing. And I click on the little thing which shows the pay, right? And because I'm like, man, that looks not right. And it was $30 lower than what I was expecting. I was expecting, because they turned the child support off. Okay, so I'm looking at that and I'm like, man, that is weird. So then I call up my my defense finance accounting services people. Was on the phone for 2 hours with them. Come to find out what those knuckleheads did is they turned off one of my children. So they had me as one child and they doubled my spousal support. Now, the reason I bring this up is because in the past, I would have been really stressed about it. I wasn't feeling well anyways, and it would have just kind of amplified everything. And I could have easily spun out of control on that and been really uptight. I was annoyed, but it really wasn't that bad. So, but I just wanted to mention that because, whenever you're sick and then other things happen, it's almost like I almost feel like I was being tested. It was like, okay, you think you're all zen. Let's throw some stuff at you and see how you handle it. So, anyways, I don't know if that was you guys have to let me know what you think about that story. It was just interesting. Okay, so let me see what else we got going on in the comments. Anything? Did I miss anything in the comments? Did you?
Well, we have why don't you check out the Lazy Taco real quick?
Oh, okay. And before I do that, let me also hit the other super chat. Measure Twice did a super chat. I appreciate it. It says, playing Pokemon Go while listening. Wish me luck. Well, good luck with your Pokemon Go, Measure Twice. That's pretty funny. And you said Lazy Taco.
Yeah, we got two. We got Lazy Taco and then Healing Beyond Trauma. So let's go back to Lazy Taco.
Okay, so I see this one. It says, I hear you, Duane. Or I hear you on feeling run down. Today is my full week into the move. Oh, cool. That's right. I forgot you were doing that. My ex tried telling me that I will not get my 50% visitation due to our daughter's daycare schedule. Had to jump through hoops. And so, okay, well, Lazy Taco, what happened? Oh, she's using this stability argument at me. So what happened with your visitation? I mean, you knew when you moved that she was going to do this. So for people who aren't aware, Lazy Taco used to, and his girlfriend, I guess, basically, who they had a daughter with, lived together in the same place. He actually worked for her family. He has since moved, and now the fun begins. So, you guys, do you have Lazy Taco? Do you have a court order or anything yet? And while I'm waiting for him to answer, and you said who was Healing Trauma?
Yes.
All right, you put question. So anybody who puts question, I'm going to copy that into a slide. Whoops, not there. I got to figure out where, not that one. Yeah, there we go. I got too many slides and I had to figure out which one it was. All right, and keynote. Healing Beyond Trauma, who it used to be a different name and they changed it, says, ever notice that when you're sick or have more on your plate than the high conflict person amps up the crazy? Yeah, actually, you know what? Technically, I didn't. Yes, in the past, I absolutely did notice that. And guys, that's one reason why it's really important to kind of keep everything that's going on with you as close hold as possible, because you don't necessarily want them to have information on what's going on because they will use that. I mean, the only caveat I would say on that is sometimes you're okay letting them know or leaking a little bit of information so they think that they're winning. But other than that, try to keep it as keep your information as close hold as possible, because it doesn't help you. It doesn't add anything. Is there anything you wanted to add on to that, Debbie?
Oh, no, no, no.
All right, so let me get back over here. And I still haven't set up another camera. We actually did this kind of quick, so this was another one of those quick things. That's why it's just the solo camera. So let me look and see what else we got going on. Sorry about that. I'm still not feeling 100%. Mr. Man says, I go in and out of the darkness. Glad I have great support and love working out. Yeah, you really, it's amazing how important a support system really is on this, because if you're alone alone is better than a crappy support system. Obviously, having a good support system is even better. Worst case scenario, utilize the online stuff like this channel or other channels and like the Discord server to interact with people who do understand, who are come from the same environment or experiences, I guess would be a better way to put it, so that you can get the support that you need. So, and West, hey West, haven't seen you in a while, says, Mr. Man, this is a great channel. It got me through a ton of crap. Awesome. Well, glad I could help, West. Sorry guys, I'm going to try not to cough in your ear because that would be totally not fun. But I'm still on the mend. I do feel, like I said earlier, I feel a heck of a lot better than I did. Oh yeah. James says a preview whispering of your ASMR channel. I can't bring myself to actually make an ASMR video yet. I keep thinking about it, but I just haven't done it yet. Actually, I think that's probably the most I've done. I did do it with my kids, messing around with them, and they were like, thought it was pretty funny. John Boston says, I'll just use my name. Says, Duane, cannot believe you mentioned how they take advantage of us when we're sick. It just brought me back to when I was on my Lyme treatment and in so much pain. That's when they served me the... no, they don't care. And honestly, if they feel that they can pile stuff on to try to break you in the process, that's part of their thing, right? I mean, part of the game or the tricks that are played is to try to beat you down so much to get you to give up and just say whatever. You know what? You win. And it works with some people. Some people do. I've known people who just say, I don't want to fight. They can have everything. I'm done. And, as long as you think that through and you're not doing that in the spur of the moment because you've been worn down, okay, fine. If that's the best decision for you. And the thing is, oftentimes it is, right? I mean, you need to be emotionally ready to be able to make those decisions. I mean, for instance, if I rolled the clock back in 6 years ago when I was going through my experience, if I knew then what I know now, I would have dealt with it completely differently. The anxiety and stress I was under would be completely different, and the fear I was under would have been completely different. So, but you got to make the best decision you can. Divorce, it'll pop up here in a minute, but Divorce Papa just did a super chat. Says, DSD rules, narcs drools. Narcs drool. So thanks Divorce Papa for that. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Really, every little bit helps. I appreciate it. So hold on a second. God, sorry about that, guys. Holy cow. Anyways, Mr. Man says a friend of mine's wife divorced him while he had colon cancer. It's and I think part of it is by design, right? I mean, you do that when someone's really down, and you have I hate to say it, but if somebody does that at that particular moment in time, the person is at their lowest, at their most vulnerable, at their most risk. And if you ever had an opportunity to do a checkmate at that time, I mean, that would be the best time to do it. It's just, but see, it goes to show here's the thing. You take other people who maybe they want to get away from their abusive ex, but something bad is going on and they're like, I can't, they feel guilty about it. They're like, I can't leave. I can't do that because, the person's sick or they're going through a traumatic experience or somebody died. But a narc, a toxic personality type, will turn around and use that to their advantage for their exit, to maximize their gains and their success through it. and to hurt you as much as possible. I mean, it's really amazing. It's tragic, is what it is. Well, Mr. Man, I hope your friend survived that and has been able to get his life back. Old Johnny Road says, mine would regularly admonish me to not get sick because we can't afford it. She didn't work. You know, it's funny. Debbie, I don't know if I told you this yesterday, but when I was talking to my son before I dropped him back off over there. He got sick too. So pretty much everybody, everybody in the house got sick. All the kids. Earlier in the week, my oldest daughter started throwing up, and then my youngest daughter got sick, and then my son got sick. But he was telling me on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Whatever day he went to school. To his college class, he was like not feeling good, and he was asking his mom. He's like, "Hey, I don't feel good. I don't think this is a good idea." He's like, "Treat it like a job," and made him go. God, did I tell you that? Did I mention that? I may not have. So, anyways, all right. Let's see what else we got going on. So Liz Smith says to Mr. Man, "That's awful. A relative's girlfriend had cancer, and he nursed her through it. When she was in remission, he was diagnosed with cancer, and she left him." Oh. You know, see, that's what I'm talking about, you know? I mean, whatever. Ugh. Old Johnny Rhodes, a toxic person will be annoyed that you are sick, but expect you to cater to them while they are sick. Yeah, absolutely. And James says, the way they think defies logic to me because it's not logical for a non-toxic person. That is a really good point. And James, you bring up something that's important for us to remember is we tend to couch everything and deal with it in the way we would deal with it. And with empathy towards other people and, right and wrong. And the people that we're dealing with do not think the same way. They will pretend and they will say things to make you think that they are, but at the end of the day, they don't feel the same. So for someone else to basically say, well, hey, you're sick, I'm out. To be honest, I remember a conversation with my ex way back when we were married. I'd thrown my back out and it was a bad one. I was out of work for like about 30 days on it. It was not fun. And she had made a comment that, to where she said to me that, hey, if you ever get sick to where you need someone to help you wipe places, I ain't doing it. The funny part is I thought when she said that, I thought she was just being funny. And I've since realized that, toxic people will tell you exactly who they are, exactly how it's going to go down. And typically we just don't believe it, because we can't think that someone would do that. Because most of us probably on this would say, well, if you're with somebody and something goes bad, then you good. I'm glad someone showed that. Would take care of somebody. You would do what you need to do, and none of us would think. I don't think would even consider when somebody is injured or going through a serious sickness, saying, "Yeah, I'm out of here. You know what? I'm done. I'm not going to do that." So, and guys, here's the thing. When that stuff happens, I mean, that is a serious indicator on who they are, what their character is, and what you're dealing with. And what's really sad is I think oftentimes whenever we're in that mode and those things happen, we still don't want to believe it. It's like the evidence is right there in our face and we're so devastated by it that it's like, how could this person have ever done that? And unfortunately, more than likely, I would imagine if we went back on all these stories, more than likely there were indicators throughout the relationship that this is exactly what was going to happen. All right, let me see what else we got going on. John Boston says to Wayne, "I could never leave a sick spouse. That's terrible. Why get married?" Well, yeah, exactly. Well, see, but John, the thing is that we're getting married for love and companionship, and we're committing to that person. A toxic, narcissistic personality type, they are not getting married for the same reasons. They're getting married for convenience. They're getting married for money. They're getting married for their own thing. It's not about being committed to somebody. So, and the problem is that here's the really sad part is I also think that most of us, if we went back, we would see that that people who knew us in the past and knew our previous relationship knew it, right? Everyone else could see it, but we couldn't see it. I was actually talking to someone about that the other day, about being able, that people who are in the middle of it don't, right? They are seeing that illusion. They're seeing what they've been, the fantasy that they've been sold, and not the reality. So let's see. John says, I was sick, but still paid all the bills. Yeah. And then CWB says, when I was with my, hold on a second, it scrolled up. When I was with my ex and sick, she would shame me. I was a baby and she would do everything she could to not let me rest. Yeah. And partly that's also to just keep you in a situation to where you're stressed and worn down. And that's a very common tactic, even when you're not sick, to try to create drama so that you don't have an opportunity to do that. Let's see here. What?
So James is trying to tackle, I guess there was perhaps a 4-letter word or something that come on. So maybe you can tell your audience what typically we do when the moderators catch something sometimes.
Yeah. So what's going on with that? I saw part of the word come up. Typically, Basque Queen. How do you even say that? Hold on. Let me do it this way. Start speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It wasn't a 4-letter word. It was something else. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Okay, now I got to do that again because I didn't hear the word. Baquino, if I'm saying your name right. So here's the thing. Typically, we've had MGTOW people come on the channel and be very disrespectful and rude. It's not to say that that's what you're doing, because I didn't see all the messages, but that's why it's being pulled, because of the past issues with that. That's why. If you want to talk about things that are not demeaning and whatever to other people, be my guest. But yeah, the word, actually, to be honest, I have that word. If anyone puts a comment on any of my videos that has MGTOW in it, it automatically holds it. So, and that's just because there's been some issues where we've had some trolls who do, not to say that you're doing that, because I haven't seen all the things that you're saying, but yeah. So I think I covered that. So that's it. I mean, and I don't know, and Vesquino, I don't know what you were saying, but just be careful on that. Say everything else you want, and as long as it's appropriate and not demeaning, or I don't know what the right word is, but you'll be fine. But that's why the comments are being deleted. All right, let me get back on track. Old Chunny Road says being sick can be physically, emotionally, financially, etc. If you don't cater to them, they will drop you like a potato instead of looking for ways to help. That is a great point, right? I mean, it's like they're looking to get their supply from you, whatever that is. I mean, if they're expecting like, okay, all right, I'm putting up with you and I'll give you breadcrumbs, but I expect a place to live. I expect a car. I expect, spending money. And if things get tight and you're not able to provide what they're looking for, because the relationship isn't built on anything other than supply. And the sad part is that we think we're in a relationship with somebody who's supportive, who's in it with us, we're it's us against the world. And you realize, no, it's not. You're there to support them, and they're there to take. And whenever you're no longer able to do that, they strike. Do you have something you wanted to add on that?
What I've been thinking about in the last few minutes is I was wondering how interesting it would be to know how many people on Earth are of the empathetic type and how many people on Earth of the non-empathetic type. So, like, take away all the labels, all the fancy labels and the diagnoses and all that. What if it was boiled down to those who are capable of empathy and those who are not? And I wonder if it would be 50-50, 70-30. I don't know, because it's not like you can go and do a survey, because most people would say, well, of course, I love everybody, So very few people would be like, oh, I totally admit it that I have no empathy.
I don't know.
It'd be interesting.
I would assume it would be 50-50, but I'm not sure. Healing Bond said to you, maybe there would be some in the middle. Oh, some in the middle. That's a good point too. I hadn't thought about it that way. You could have the really empathetic type, the really toxic type, and then you're going to have the people who are still toxic, but maybe feel a little bit of guilt for it, but kind of go through that gray area. That's a good point.
I can make a comment about the whole being in the middle thing because
Yeah.
here would be a good example of that. Let's say somebody has gone through life and because of their childhood or whatever the reasons are, they're kind of an entitled person in general. But let's say they go through some really tough times that humble them greatly, and they have a learning. They have a epiphany at some point, and they realize, oh my goodness, now that I've learned what you know real life challenges are, I can now be more empathetic towards those who are having struggles. So perhaps those would be the people in the middle who they skate through life and, it's all about me, it's all
Oh,
about me, everything's great, everything's
but
great.
they've never had any
They've
experiences
never
to.
had difficulty. And then they're like,
Oh,
oh, so you know what? So
that's a good point.
that is good. So I'm glad that it was brought up that you can be someone kind of in the middle. That's true. It's not just cut and dried.
Oh, Wes says eBay. eBay says most people are good. Well, I guess eBay's. I'm not sure what you meant there. And he goes, and I find that to be true. I'd say 75 with empathy and 12.5 on each extreme. Okay, yeah, that most people are basically good. You know what? That's actually an interesting point too, because maybe that's the reason why that some of these toxic people can get away with it. Is most people don't even haven't had the experience that we've had with these toxic people. I mean, you gotta remember that. I mean, we're kind of in this environment. You guys come into this channel. I mean, we're all coming from a common ground of a common experience. So obviously, 100% of us have these experiences. But I mean, that would also explain why a portion of people just don't get it. If you haven't been through it and someone, you try to explain to someone what you're going through, they're like, oh, you're exaggerating. You're blowing it out of proportion. You just can't get over it. Those type of things. So
We got a comment right here about how old Sean, how do I say that correctly?
Old Shawnee Road. It's actually the name of a street.
Oh, okay. So it says there are a lot of people who act empathetic, but it's an act that of course is true, and Duane talks about that
Oh
quite
yeah.
often with the whole.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
able to mimic what the behavior looks like. They're able to copy, but that doesn't mean in their heart, deep within
See,
their heart, they
it's
feel it.
tough because you have to, because you don't want to go through this phase where you're paranoid and you suspect everyone, right? But you need to be aware that not everybody thinks the way you think, and you also, like what Old Shawnee Road was saying, you also need to be aware that there are people who are going to try to pretend to be something that they're not. So it's like you gotta find this balance where you can interact with people and not be so paranoid that everyone is toxic, but not so naive that all these people are able to just completely torpedo you because you're always trusting that everyone is okay. Excuse me, sorry about that. Old Channing Road says they will mimic because it makes them look good to their friends or FM, future. What does FM mean?
Family members, maybe?
Or flying monkeys. Thank you,
Oh,
flying
flying
monkeys.
monkeys. I was thinking family member. Oh my
couldn't-
gosh, that's so funny. Flying monkeys.
Thank you.
Yikes.
Jeez. You would think somebody who runs a narcissistic abuse recovery channel would be able to remember that one. I'm still getting better. That's funny. I saw somebody mention something about diabetes. I'm going to try to scroll up on that.
They said that they now.
Star Child 33, if I think I read that correctly, says, I now have type 2 diabetes. I am sorry you're going through that. I am dealing with that myself, and it's not a lot of fun. And you know what's interesting is, and I know I may have told this story in the past, but when my youngest daughter before she was born, my ex was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. So we changed everything. We changed our diet, everything. I remember when she came home, she was all upset, crying, and I'm like, well, okay, well, whatever. All right, this is what it is. What did they say we were supposed to do? And we'll do it. And I remember and I should have recognized it at the time because she was really surprised because I'm like, well, if we have to change the diet, we're going to change the diet. No big deal. And she, wiped her tears and was like, really? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course. And I actually said to her, I mean, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to make you, you're going to make me steak and potatoes, woman. I mean, it's like, no, I mean, if we got to switch to fit, I mean, whatever the diet is, we'll do. And she was surprised. And that should have been an indicator. Because the funny thing is, so we went on the diet. Her numbers were good. Everything was great. Baby was born. Everything was fine. She was losing weight. We stayed on the diet until she got down to her target weight, and then boom, it was done. It's like, okay, we're not doing the diet anymore. And I'm like, what? Like, we're eating good. The kids were used to it. My weight was going down. I was pre-diabetic. I wasn't diagnosed then. And it was like, nope, that's your problem, you know? And then whenever I got diagnosed, and, you know, she's like, nope, that's your problem. I'm not, you know, nope, you know, that's you eating. God, man. You know what, guys? It's really one of those things, you know, talking about like the topic of this thing with it being, you know, crawling out of the dark days. That was dark for me because I couldn't believe that the person that I was married to, that the person that I thought loved me would basically say, I don't care. That's your problem. You can choose what you're going to put in your mouth. And if you want to, you know, eat something different, you figure it out. I am not going to support you at all. And as a, you know, then my weight went through the roof. I got to the point where I just didn't care anymore. I'm like, you know what? Okay, F it. You know, if she doesn't care, I don't care, you know, whatever. You know, at least I didn't, I mean, I am so freaking lucky that during the period of that time that I didn't lose my vision, that I didn't lose any limbs, that, you know, I mean, well, you had a friend of yours, Debbie, was he my age or was he younger? Your diabetic friend.
Diabetic friend.
Greg. Gene. That's who I'm thinking of.
Oh my goodness. That was a few years back. Yeah, that was.
But I mean, so you're talking about somebody, I mean, when this stuff happens, if you don't deal with the right way, it can kill you. I mean, you know, it can be a slow, painful death, or it can just destroy your organs. I remember my own doctor, and that's kind of what happened to her friend. I mean, and in my situation, I mean, I remember my doctor saying, you know, you got, you know, like just different stuff, you know, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, it was one of it was talking about taking Advil because when my back was really bothering me, I was taking a lot. And she basically said, you need to knock this off because you overdo it and it can shut down your liver and kidneys and you're done. I'm like, ugh. She goes, your liver and kidneys are okay. But she goes, I've had other patients who, you know, not really old and they overdid it on something and their body rejected it and shut everything down. I mean, so I guess I'm just saying is that in the course of that, it could have went bad. I mean, it could have went bad, but maybe the universe knew I need to make it through it so I could create this channel and do something positive.
But so piggybacking on that, so when you're dealing with an illness and you're associating with someone, and it doesn't have to be a romantic or post or whatever, you know, it could be a family member, whoever it is that's bringing in the toxicity. If they're not encouraging you, and you're not able to encourage yourself, then it can. What he's saying is that, you know, you can end where he said, "Oh, forget it. I'm just going to let myself go." Oh my goodness. You know,
yeah.
It could have been catastrophic.
And I did. I mean, I ballooned back up. I mean, during the course of that, I got to the point where I didn't care. I mean, I was like, okay, you know, pass me an extra helping of macaroni and cheese. I mean, I just said, F it. You know, I mean, I'm really lucky. I'm really lucky that didn't effectively kill me. Oh, and then to add insult into injury. So when the divorce happened and the temporary orders were set up and it's like, okay, you're going to give her 90, you know, not 90, but I mean, basically most of my take home pay. And I was looking at it and it's like, okay, so my medication I needed was over $100 a month and I had no money. I couldn't afford it. So I stopped. I'm like, well, I can't, I mean, it was like, I can't, I'm giving all the money. Oh, God, man. I forgot about that. I mean, it's amazing how angry, and I didn't know Debbie and I weren't going out at this time, I don't think, but early on in it, it totally angered me. I mean, here I am, you know, she's getting all the money, no responsibility. I'm jumping through flaming hoops. The kids are coming over going, you know, Daddy, mommy's paying me, not alimony. Allowance. I'm trying to use my kid voice. I'm not doing very good well. But I mean, it was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I can't even afford my freaking medication. I can barely put gas in my truck to get to work. I was giving her pretty much like, God, what was it? Like 60 or 70% of my take home pay. And then at one point I looked at the taxes it was going to be. It was going to be like 90% of all my money was going to her. And I was just, I was just like devastated. So, I mean, thank God I made it through. I mean, thank God. I mean, I do have neuropathy, which is not a lot of fun. It ebbs and flows. Like sometimes I feel like my legs are all wet or on fire and hands are tingly and stuff, but could be worse. So I'm happy with that. So I'm okay with where it's at. Let's see. John says, Duane, oh my God, stop it. My narc said the same, said the Lyme was my problem and that the mold in the house was only my problem. Damn selfish people, get rid of them. Yeah, and I would imagine, John, when you were going through that, you just couldn't believe it, right? And maybe you went through. I'll ask you this, John. When that happened, did you go through that experience? You know, that feeling where you're like, well, crap. You know, I mean, you know, shoot, my spouse doesn't even care about me. You know, I mean, why do I even need to care about myself? I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. That's what.
Oh, I was going to say something about the fact that, you needed, okay, you probably could have gotten documentation from your doctor that you need this medication or that medication. Could you imagine how much money it would have cost you to go back to court and say, we have to lower the whatever it is because I will not survive if I do not take care of myself and I need this help, right? It would you couldn't afford to lower the numbers in any way possible.
No.
Right? So you basically had these choices like, let's see, I have to pay her so I don't go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so you actually had to choose between following the court order or your own life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you had to ignore your own stuff. That's
That's what I did. I mean, and I didn't. I mean, I think it was after we started dating when I finally started getting back on the medication and started trying to follow it. But it was just depressing. I mean, but it's like, what do you do, right? I mean, now I could have made, but I mean, I needed to. Well, I will say this: when the kids aren't here, it's a hell of a lot easier for me to eat better. When they're here, and it's like, hey guys, we're gonna have whatever, Although I am kind of enjoying the whole keto thing, the idea that just a steak by itself is healthy, I actually like, and my numbers actually work better when I do that. So if anybody's dealing with that, check out the keto thing because it's. I mean, not that I'm not a dietitian. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but it has helped my numbers. So John says I was fighting for my kids when I was in court. The judge didn't care. I was sick. Nope. I know it's yeah, unfortunately, and that's really, Debbie. That's really what would happen is, whoops, I'm trying to get my monitor configured to where I can see her over it and and stuff. But yeah, they don't care. It's like next, okay, oh yeah, you have a problem. I mean, it's sickening, and it's really designed to break you, right? Because you get to the point where you can just feel like giving up. So, anyways. All right, let's see.
How about that other example where, and of course I won't give names, where this other couple of people that where the man is the one and he's struggling with his weight and stuff, and so she only has motivation for him to get sick and pass away because there'd be a bunch of money. So she keeps saying, well, I don't like it when you lose weight. I'm more attracted to you when you're larger, and he's already large. And I'm like, Duane, think about this for a second.
Yeah.
Dangerous levels, and she's encouraging him to eat more and be even more overweight on purpose. And I said, let's take a look at this. What does she have to gain? And he rolled out a number, and I said, yep, she's doing that on purpose. She's trying to make him sick.
Yeah, because actually where I
don't say too much information. But
anyways, yeah, exactly. But you know what? You're in the middle of it. You don't see it. You don't see it that way. You see the illusion you want to see. It's really sad. It's really tough. All right, let's see. Did I miss a couple of comments? I got John already said it. I didn't care. I was sick. Let me scroll up here a little bit. Hey, Liz, I didn't see you jump on. It says, I feel broken down currently. My bonus child's mom is HC. My husband is HC. I'd love to walk away from my marriage and take our kids. I can't abandon bonus child. I feel stuck. That keeps coming up, and I had somebody who made a comment similar to that. It's like, well, about being stuck. And I mean, if you're stuck, you got to find a way to deal with it in the best way you can. And the problem is, or the risk on that is finding a way to do it and to be okay with it, so that you don't feel like it's just destroying you in the process. I mean, personally, Liz, I would say, be trying to find a way out at some point. I mean, if you can't go now because of it, start to build a plan and an exit strategy to where you feel, where you have a way out, and to give you some stability that you don't feel like that you're stuck in this forever. Because the last thing, or the main problem that I think a lot of us have is we lose hope. You get in the middle of this, in the midst of this, and it feels so bleak, it looks so bleak that you lose the possibility of hope. And when that happens, it can be completely devastating. So let's see. Timbo Peep says, I don't believe the toxic person is typically lacking in empathy. Rather, they find pleasure in the conscious rejection of their feelings of empathy. Their behavior is a, what the world? Hold on. Volitional issue. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. What's your take on that? What do you think, Debbie?
I'm gonna have to let you tackle that one.
Well, what I'm leaning on that is I think what happens is if you're asking or if you're pondering these issues from like, curiosity that doesn't affect your life, I guess what I mean is what I'm saying is that when I was going through the phase where I was trying to figure her out, okay, you know what? Actually, let me say it this way, because I find myself now actually intrigued about trying to guess what her next move is. Not because I'm worried about what her next move is. It's just like, have I figured her out enough to realize, is she going to go through door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? And so now it's more entertaining. It's more like, okay, what's she going to do? Maybe a little bit of like, okay, how could this affect me? But years ago, I was so wrapped up in trying to figure out her motivation because out of fear and just anxiety to guess what was going to come next. And it's a transitional stage, right? So whenever we're having these type of conversations and you're wondering, like with what Tim was saying, if it's just one of those things where you're like, okay, let's have an intellectual discussion and think about it, and it's like, okay, but it really doesn't matter, because effectively once we excise these people from our life, it doesn't matter anymore, right? I mean, we can't fix them. We're not going to change them. It's almost a waste of energy to really ponder what's going on with them, because it just keeps us connected with them when it's in that negative mode. I think when you get to the point where you can look at it and go, hey, what do you think? I mean, because Debbie had another friend who was kind of like that. She was like, this person fits all these target characteristics. I wonder what they would do, right? And and it wasn't a romantic thing; it was just a friendship thing. So, she was able to interact with this person, have good boundaries, and be able to see, well, what are they going to do? And this person would tried all the traits, tried to push your buttons, tried to get under your skin, tried to all the different things until he finally just went away. But, anyways, all right. Let me scroll down to the bottom. I think we're rolling up on an hour. We're gonna bail here because I'm starting to get dizzy. So, so if anyone has any other questions or a topic you want to hit, please put it in the chat and we can hit it. Did I miss anything, Debbie?
Let's see. Let's take a little quick look-see on the last few. Let's see.
I see Sharon wrote something. Let me read this. Okay. Sharon. Hey, Sharon. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. It says, my charming ex sobbed at me and put me in huge debt. Wait a minute. Ex sobbed me in. Oh, okay. Your ex sobbed you back in. Put you in huge debt. I don't owe the money. He lied, but I still got the bill. I feel for you as I have peripheral neuropathy as well. Yeah, it's fucking. Sorry, it's annoying. I know. Beep.
Oops.
Hey, if you guys don't know, when they test for neuropathy, what they do is they take electrodes and they stick them on your body and then jab you with whatever to measure how messed up your nerves are. I did it with my legs. I did it with my lower side, and I'm like, oh dear God. Yeah, it kind of hurts. And then my doctor, when I was talking about my fingers and stuff, she goes, oh, well, we need to do that test on your upper body. And I'm like, I had the appointment. Because then my insurance, I have to pay for this. I have to pay this sadistic SOB.
I think you're getting riled up, maybe. I think,
okay.
okay.
He put electrodes in places they shouldn't be and freaking stuck a car battery on me. Are you kidding me?
So Jake,
and then I had to pay that scumbag.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I just
So,
want to say
so
something. James is our moderator. James wants to know if you're okay because you said you were feeling dizzy. I think it's just because you're
my
trying to
sinuses are,
heal from.
my sinuses are jacked up, and it causes my head to get whatever. So I'm okay. It's just I'm gonna have to lay down after this. But anyways, yeah. So whenever they came and said they wanted to do my hands, and I had the appointment, I'm like, forget that. I went to my doctor and it's like, hey, why'd you cancel that? I'm like, because I'm not going to pay somebody $350 to freaking shock the hell out of me just so that you can say, oh, yeah, you have nerve damage. It's like, no, we're not doing that. She laughed.
It was funny. I just wanted to say something to everybody. So
Ooh.
for those of us who already know this already, when it comes to like we're not prudish or anything like that, but when it comes to the comments, the reason why we were just trying to be careful what we say so that we want to be open to expressing ourselves, but we didn't want to offend anyone. And not only that, we didn't want YouTube to take anything down. So if one of us says a slip or something on air, yeah, we apologize. We don't. If any of us said that, we don't want to do that. We're you go ahead and
Yeah, no, I've made a point for the most part, well, other than live, sometimes I make mistakes, is to try to keep this a PG-13 channel. Partly it's just because you know what? I know I've been on channels where people swear, and it's like it's a barrier of entry to some people, right? Some people like it, some people don't. So I chose whenever I made this channel not to do that. I apologize that I slipped, but whatever. I like this. Healing Bond Trauma says, to Duane, have you considered acupuncture? No, I haven't. I should consider it.
I've suggested it.
I know
to
you
him
have,
before,
but I wonder if in tandem with keto, if the body could heal. That's actually not a bad idea. I might have to look. See, the part of the problem is I live out in the middle of nowhere, so I don't think we have an acupuncture here.
we need to go to LA. I think we need to go to Los Angeles, perhaps.
Yep. Go to good old LA.
Yeah. Maybe.
Ooh, hot stones with acupuncture. That actually sounds really nice. God, that sounds nice. Allison Custer, hey, welcome. I haven't seen you. I think you're new, so welcome to the channel and welcome to a live stream. Says 3 months into court and the guardian ad litem just quit out of fear of retribution from my narc ex. Whoa, I don't ever remember hearing somebody going through that. I'm sorry, Allison. That's terrible. Wow. I hope that the judge will. I hope that God. That's interesting. I'm sorry you're going through that.
I'm sorry I missed that, Duane. I missed that. Wow.
Yeah, I just happened to look up and see that. So that's not good.
Hey, you know what? Take a look at Chester Park from Romania. That is so cool. Watching from Romania. That's
awesome. It says, hi guys, watching from Romania. So welcome. Actually, I'm going to Chester. How do you say that? Hold on. Chesterb. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. It says, hi guys, watching from Romania. Very helpful and really happy that this kind of live streams are made. Wish you all the best and a free and beautiful life. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. And welcome. That is so cool. It is so amazing how this platform, YouTube, allows us to interact with people from all over the world. I've created friendships and relationships with people that I would have never met in a million years just because of YouTube, and it's really awesome. Basquino also says it's nice for rheumatoid arthritis.
Rheumatoid, and I don't know the other word.
Well, I think he meant arthritis. ME. I don't know what ME is in really you're talking about the cicada, the nerve in the back. So you're talking about acupuncture and the hot stones for that. That's actually interesting. Oh, you know what? One thing I did, you know what? I'm not going to hit it. I was going to bring up that news article, but I'm not. I won't do it. So, hey, Blue Donkey Mom says, better late than never. Hi to everyone. Well, welcome to you. We're actually going to shut down here in a little bit. See, he wrote out sciatica. Thank you. I couldn't say it. Can you guys see my brain just lock up whenever that stuff happens? Lower back goes down one leg. Yeah, I haven't had that. I have back problems, but I haven't had that. And I've heard, I know people who have it, and that's not fun. Healing Bonds says to Lisa, says, I'm on the Discord often if you want to chat about bonus kids and my experience. Oh, yeah, you know what? So just on that, so as we're getting ready to wrap this up, I do have a DSD Discord. So this is a, sorry about that. That is an opportunity for you guys to connect outside of YouTube and outside of, like Facebook or anything like that, to interact. If you go to Chrome, you go to my main channel. Right up here is the invitation link. So if you click that, that will drop you over to Discord. If you don't have an account, it'll ask you to create an account. If you've already created an account, please don't hit the accept invite again, because it'll just start it again. You can just go to Discord, and you can run it on the web, or you can run it as an app on Mac and or PC. Plus there are apps for your phone. Let me do this just so when it pops up, it doesn't show certain things. Let me see here. You know what? I won't drop into it, but basically it's like an internet relay chats where you can hang out and chat with people, talk to people. You can do voice chats so that you can actually talk and you don't have to give out your phone number or anything like that. I know sometimes we do Discords afterwards. I am starting to beep, so I'm not going to do that this time. I need to take a break right after we're done with this. So that's what the Discord is. And on that, guys, thanks. Well, hold on. Healing Bond Trauma says, question, can I share some of my hypnotherapy MP3s on Discord? Absolutely. Yes, you can. Not a problem. I think there's a section for it, but whatever section is good, share it. Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind. I guess the caveat is if somebody comes onto the Discord or into the channel and has had no relationship with this channel or this community, and you just start sharing your stuff, that's not cool. But Healing Bond Trauma, I know you've changed your name, but you've been a part of us for a while, so absolutely. It's all about helping people and sharing different resources that might work. I mean, some of the things that I've done work for me that may not work for you, or maybe they will, and vice versa. And some of the things that have worked for you guys might not work for me. So that's like I often push out the hypnosis stuff because it was helpful for me. So, Blue Donkey Monkey, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it.
What did you say?
Blue Donkey. Oh, I said monkey, mom. Blue Donkey. Am I saying it wrong?
Blue Donkey Mom. I think maybe you were just saying it so quickly that.
No, I said monkey. I meant mom.
No, it's okay. You saw the M and you saw the donkey, and then you changed it to monkey.
Yeah,
anyway, it happens. It happens.
Sorry. I hope there was no offense to that. But thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Oh my God. All right, guys. I am acupuncture fund.
That's great.
This will pop up in a second. I got to wait for this one. James the Broviver, one of our moderators, and has his own channel, did a $5 super chat for the acupuncture fund. Thank you, James. Thank you, Blue. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you hanging out. There it is. Now it popped up. There it is, right there. Right there. God. Okay. Man. All right. I'm feeling weird. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I know this was late for today. I do intend to come back and be here on Tuesday. Hopefully, I'll be feeling even better. But I am like fading fast right now. So on that, hopefully you guys have an outstanding rest of your day. We'll chat with you on the next video, next live stream. Take care. All right.